It's Monday, mid-morning at Paddington, and there's been a change in the weather.
Nice little bit of sunshine, that's what we need.
But on the station concourse, a bit of sunshine can mean a severe rise in temperature.
Allegedly, it's hot outside, but I've not been outside since 7 o'clock this morning, so I wouldn't really know. But, I mean, at the moment, the temperature's around 25, 26 degrees outside.
The station's four-span 700-foot glass train shed might be a marvel of Victorian engineering, but in hot weather, it can make life extremely uncomfortable.
Paddington, when it's hot, it's literally like a greenhouse, like it bakes you.
It's like the glass house. We just need some tropical palm trees as well to finish us off.
It's nice if you're outside in Hyde Park, but you know, on the gates, you can't leave the gates, you're just there, baking. So I decided that I'm gonna get everybody water. Still a sparkling.
Oh, I'll have a normal.
Normal one. All right, cheers, mate. No worries. I'm gonna be a nice Samaritan. Call me Mother Teresa. You want still?
Come on. Nice, thank you.
There you go.
Ice, lemon.
Nice and lemon. There you go. You look like you need it.
It's like nectar.
Okay, that's it for now. Done my little deed for the day.
But during a heat wave, it's not just the staff and passengers who suffer.
Just to let you know, we've got a points failure at Didcot East Junction. Yeah, I think it might be the heat. Yeah, it was going so well.
The rail infrastructure is full of delicate wiring and intricate moving metal parts. But in the searing temperatures, they can overheat and expand. At Route Control, they've worked out that the Didcot points failure has been caused by a fault in vital signalling equipment that counts train axles.
We've got 2 axle counters failed on the approach to Didcot station coming in from the Oxford line. They've failed down, they've locked up a set of points, which means trains from the Oxford direction will not be able to call at Didcot Parkway.
Didcot is a busy junction on the western route, and controller Greg Dash is having to react fast to prevent snarl-ups.
Lima 37, I've had to stop them dispatching it from Oxford because if it comes towards Didcot, we've got no route for it. Didcot's become a bit of a train park. So at the moment, I've got about 6 trains at stand. I've got trains at stand here because we're diverting 1 Charlie 15. It should come straight through this line. So it's had to go over because points are locked to reverse, and then it's got to come back over again. It's now affecting up traffic coming from Swindon. And then we've got 2 freights at stand here. It's basically trying to squeeze trains through a bottleneck. If you liken it to a motorway, it's like having 2 lanes closed out with a 3-lane motorway. You're going to get congestion. And that's what's happening at Didcot at the moment.
Got the potential of being 1,000+ minutes delay. Get the techs to have a look at the actual counters and get the moms to have a look at the points. Hopefully it's something simple.
46 miles away at Paddington, it's now early afternoon. And with rush hour approaching, Graham Parker in the control room is getting live updates on the unfolding situation.
So this is the map of Didcot, and you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4 trains in that little area all have red lights in front of them, so they're all not allowed to move. So that's not good. And if they don't shift, they'll only make a queue of other trains, so they'll make it more annoying.
For passengers at Paddington, it's already a very hot and sticky wait. And with a wave of disruption heading their way, it's about to get even more uncomfortable.
Because Didcot's about 40-odd minutes away, I'll start feeling the effects here at Paddington in about 10 minutes' time from now. We're creeping into the peak, so 2:30 now. So if the problem is able to be fixed in the next hour or so, it won't be too much of an issue. But if it goes into the peak, it'd be quite a drastic problem. So obviously it's seriously vital that it's dealt with before the peak time when more trains kick in.
Train running controller Greg Dash's efforts to reroute trains have come to a standstill.
It's turning into a massive disaster at Didcot. Just when we thought we could route trains from the down relief line into Didcot, we find out that a freight train that's been at stand for a while doesn't have a forward driver until 1500, which is another 20 minutes away. So just when we thought we had an opportunity to get things moving, 4 Zulu 47 is blocking our only way through from Reading on the down relief. That would have caused problems on the normal day on its own, but with the lack of points, you know, we're fighting a losing battle here.
Top man, thanks for that. Cheers, bub. Matt Law's got his line blockage for these points now.
The good news is that staff are now on site and can try and move the points manually under the supervision of a mobile operations manager, or MOM.
The MOM that's on site for these points at Didcot East, he's now been granted his line blockage, so it's safe for him to go in and have a look at these points, and his priority is to get them over to the normal position.
The busiest time of Paddington's day is now fast approaching.
We are coming towards rush hour now. The techs are now there. I've just seen a message to say that the techs are on site, so that's good. I'm hoping this is all going to be done before 4 o'clock. If not, obviously it's going to cause a lot of problems here at Paddington.
But at Route Control, there's a new problem with their rerouting strategy.
It's getting worse as we go on. The lack of diversity route knowledge, it means that all the trains that we would normally try and divert, we can't, because the drivers have to know the road, which is fair enough, and also the guards. Hopefully this freight will be out of the way shortly. The driver of the freight has just turned up at Didcot in a taxi, and then we'll get this freight on the move, which will then reopen the relief line, and then we'll have more movement. But at the moment, we're going to start reducing the train service out of Paddington. So the Cardiffs and the Cheltenhams we're looking at withdrawing to create a bit more capacity.
Passengers for the 15:15 Great Western service to Cardiff Central. This train has been cancelled, and this is due to signalling problems in the Didcot area.
The wonderful voice that is Graham from above. It's filling everybody with joy at the moment, but this is the impact from the signalling around Didcot earlier on. So we are aware that some services will be delayed.
Anyone who's going to Cardiff or beyond to Swansea will need to wait until the 15:45. So they've got a 45-minute wait now for their train, which obviously is not very nice. But so that's one cancellation from here now. We were hoping we weren't going to have any, but that's the first, and I'm sure there'll be more later on.
And there's more bad news. In the heat, staff at Didcot are struggling to manually move the points.
There's 2 pump units, one's defective, so there's not enough oomph to move the points over. They're going to try one more thing by releasing a few pressure valves, and hopefully I'll get the points over to normal, albeit not fixed. At least we'll get some train movement.
Passengers to the 1603 Great Western service to Penzance. Cancelled from Paddington and start from Reading. Any passengers for stations between Reading and Penzance, please board the next train to Reading and change at Reading for stations to Penzance, where your train will begin.
So at the moment we've got a cancellation on the Penzance service 1603. What we're hoping to do is we're hoping to start that train from Reading. So in theory, all should go well if people catch the 1600 Bristol Temple Mead service, or also being able to catch the 1545, which is just boarding now, boarding on platform 10. So you'll see now everything's getting quite busy over on 10 because people will be wanting to make the connection for the Penzance service. Luckily, everything seems to be on the move still, and that's the main reason why we like it at the moment.
Trains around Didcot have actually lost over 55 minutes now, which is a hell of a delay to a train, especially if your train journey is already like 2.5, 3 hours, and you add another hour to it.
At Route Control, there's some good news, at least about one of the signalling issues.
Yeah, the techs have solved the problem with the actual counter at Didcot, so effectively normal working, albeit the first train will go for a caution to remove the aspect restriction, and we'll have normal working on that. So the next priority now is the points at Didcot East.
And moments later, a breakthrough with the Didcot points.
They've managed to, by giving it an impact shock, get it to go over. So now we've got the points in normal, but they're not in order. So we're going to maintain them in the normal position until the techs tell us what they need to get into fix it permanently.
So we've got normal detection now in these points. So effectively that means we can signal normally in one direction only, on the down. So all the trains on the down main for Swindon can go booked route. Anything from Reading to Oxford, we're running out of Reading on the down relief. And then we can send them round the corner at Didcot without moving these points. So now these points have got detection, we're leaving them alone. It's not ideal, but it means we can start running trains again. But we've got a lot of people to move now. It's just after 1600, Paddington will be filling up with passengers. So having these points coming back with normal detection is the best time ever, really.
Staff announcement for all platform staff. All of the trains are now going booked route through Didcot and Swindon and beyond. at peak time, we run completely at capacity. We couldn't really fit any more trains if we wanted to. So it's absolutely vital that this work was done prior to the peak time kicking in, and it has been done, which is amazing. I hope that these staff are seriously rewarded financially and with donuts.
A scorching day on the railway ends. But with temperatures set to hit the high 20s, there's new urgency out on the tracks. Mick Lungo and his team are taking advantage of the cool of the early morning to carry out vital preemptive work on Paddington's busy approach.
Every rail that we install needs to be stressed for hot weather prep, stop track buckles and all that sort of stuff.
Rails are made of steel, and like all metal, if they get too hot, they expand, which can cause serious track failures.
It's basic work, but it's stuff that could cause track buckles and stuff like that, so it's quite important that it's quite relevant to our works.
To prevent this from happening, the rail is stressed, physically stretched to minimise the risk of expansion in hot weather.
This is a crossing that was installed about 2 months ago. So the first 3 legs were stressed, but the last leg we didn't stress because of lack of time. So today we've come in to re-stress it basically.
The team take the temperature and measure the length of the unstressed section of track. Mick then calculates how much of it needs to be cut out before stretching it and then welding it back together.
Just worked out with the meterage and with the thermometers as well, so we need to pull it 17 mil. So plus the welder's gap. Terry, is 24, isn't it? 24 your gap? Yeah, so altogether it'll be... So I'll be putting in a gap of 41 mil.
The 41mm gap is cut out, and machines are placed on the rails to physically stretch it.
They're hydraulic rams, so basically once we set it all up and we'll put the power pack on, then it'll pull it back to what it needs to be.
Before they can start stretching the rail, there's another time-consuming task.
They're loosening the fastenings at the moment, so it becomes free rail. So when we do put the stressor kit together, there's no clips to stop it from moving. And they'll be doing this process all the way up to the unclip mark, which is further up there. Because then if there's any clips left in the track, then you won't be able to pull it. It will stop it from pulling, sort of thing. So it's not a long process once it's all going and stuff, but it's just getting the clips out and stuff because of these are very old clips.
1, 2, 3.
These are called skull clips. You don't get many of these nowadays. It's mainly the Pandro ones which come out a lot easier. These probably haven't been taken out for a very long time, so they're probably rusted and corroded and stuff, hence the 2 bars that they're using there to get them out. So this will take a little bit longer than usual.
With fastenings removed, they can begin stretching the rails. It takes 26 tons of pressure to produce the right amount of tension.
The correct pressure's been applied, so the correct stress is in the rail now. And then obviously all that's left to do now is for the welders to weld it up, and then we unclip it back up and that's the job done.
The last job is to place a mould over the gap and pour in molten steel, joining the 2 rails. Once cooled, the join is ground down to produce a smooth profile.
Job's finished now. The welders have completed their weld. I've just checked the track to make sure that all the fastenings are secured and nice and tight, all the nylons are back in. So yeah, that's it, job done. Next one Monday.
4 miles up the line at Paddington, the morning rush hour is in full flow, and temperatures are once again on the rise.
It's so hot, we're stocked up on ice cream and air conditioning.
While some staff at Paddington are working to stay cool, it's starting to hot up for incident controller Shay Doyle at Route Control.
Yeah, we've got a track circuit failure, Paddington, platform 1, after a departing train, so he's left the track down. It impacts on the signaller because he'll have to make sure that trains that are booked to go into that platform are re-platformed, which isn't always as easy as it sounds. I know we've got 14 platforms there, but they are all utilised, so it's a case of him juggling it round.
Trains leave and arrive every few minutes during rush hour, so the clock's ticking to get the problem fixed.
we can work, I think, with one platform out, but if anything else kicks off and we were to lose another platform, then we really would have big problems. So we do need to get this sorted, and being platform 1, it is one of the key platforms there, so the sooner we can get people up there and get onto it, the better. We've got a team of technicians on the way. They reckon they'll be up there by 1400 to start their investigations, and hopefully they'll bottom it out before the evening peak gets going.
It's Controller Swindon.
Moments later, there's good news, immediately followed by bad.
Track circuit failure platform 1, which has now just gone clear, so we're running normally on that. And now platform 5's failed, so they're taking out on each other at the moment.
Charlie Samford, one of the engineers who was due to look at platform 1, is now sent to platform 5.
At the moment, we've got a problem with the track circuit, which is the method used to detect where the trains are. They run a small amount of electricity through the rails. At the moment, there's no track circuit detected, so they can't tell that there's a train here. It could be a few different things that cause this. So until the train's moved out of the way and we can actually see what's going on, then we can't really tell what the problem is at the moment.
But back at route control, they're getting news of another problem on the same platform.
Now, the driver's felt a bump and he's brought the train to a stand at the stopping point at Paddington. We need to get someone to have a look at it before we get the train out, or at least watch the train out. So if anything untoward happens, we can just bring the train to a stand immediately.
Bumps on Paddington's tracks can have serious consequences.
We had a derailment there not too long ago. It could be a risk of that as well.
This is what happened at Paddington last year. A train derailed as it was leaving the station. Fortunately, no one was injured, but the damage took the platform out of action for several days, and no one wants to go through that again.
We need to get that inspected as a matter of urgency. And unfortunately, where the bump is in relation to the train, the driver won't be able to see it because the front end of the train will be over it. So we need somebody to go give a visual inspection on the ground. So we're just waiting for an ETA now as to when the staff are going to get there, because platform out of use in Paddington is not good. Because we did have a track circuit failure in platform 1 earlier, which has gone clear, but there has to be a risk if that failed again, we'd be 2 platforms short, which we wouldn't be able to manage with.
The worst case scenario is if this train derails, it will carry on out of Paddington in a derailed condition and cause all sorts of track damage.
The plan is, I'm staying on the phone to the signalman when the train's on the move, obviously at walking pace. If there's any issues, give me a shout, and then I'll stop the train immediately through the signalman and then on to the driver. I'm just going to let the driver know. Basically, I'm going to be on the phone to the signalman. If there's any issues regarding the track, I'll contact the signalman and then he'll get you to give you an emergency stop. Okay. All right, thanks so much, cheers.
With everyone in position and Mark's plan in place, the train slowly makes its way out of the station.
So he's just giving them signals to go, yeah?
With a clear view of the track, Charlie can diagnose the problem.
If you look down here, the joints, the fish plate that's joining the 2 rails together, where they've been changed and the wrong plate's been put on, one rail's sitting higher than the other, so when the train wheel goes over it, it's causing a bump.
With evening rush hour approaching, the track needs to be fixed fast. But once again, the hot weather is giving the engineers a headache.
These plates need changing, but we can't do it at the moment because the rail temperature's so high. If we were to take the plates off, the rails are going to try and expand, and if you was to try and cut it, it'd just pinch the blade and then it'd shatter. So it's a safety issue really. We'll have to wait for tonight until it cools down a bit, and then we'll be able to take it off and change them. We can still run trains over it at caution. Now we know that it's broken rail or anything like that. So as soon as S&T have fixed their track circuit problem, we'll be able to run trains.
But before S&T, the signalling engineers have the chance to investigate the track circuit. Bedri Alija from the track team thinks he knows what's at fault.
I think I locate the problem with track circle. The same problem we had in this rail this side. I think a couple of bolts there, they're holding a rail to the concrete. I think it's missing some pads, which they should have isolated. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the new pads in and then check with S&T how the track cycle's showing, yeah? Okay?
The pads are designed to keep the electrical current circulating around the track. And Bedri is hoping that by reinstalling the 3 missing pads, he'll fix the track circuit issue.
Oh, the S&T, they're going to do the test now and check how the track cycle's showing, yeah? Then, fingers crossed, it's going to be fine.
It's now over to the signalling team. When there's a train on the track, the electric circuit readings should go down. And when there's no train on the track, like now, they should go up.
Is it up? Is it up? It looks down. How much it was last time? 3.7. Oh, wait, it looks still down to me. It's taking too long. It's got a problem.
You want a little bit more time then? Paddington platform 5 during the peak. The signal would like his platform back, so we can get back to him soon.
There's no fault on the tracks, so they check the relay boxes.
At the moment, the relay's not getting enough voltage.
Okay.
Just getting halfway should be.
Yeah.
So it's halfway up. Yeah. It could be the relay's not taking it in, but most likely it's going to be something before it, stopping it getting the voltage. So.
The S&T guys have found a relay. It's basically got some power coming into it, but the power's not coming back out to feed another relay. So they're looking, they might have to change the relay.
All possible readings lead to this receiver filter. So we're trying to source one now from the depot from our team leader. So as soon as he bring one, we will change it over, then we'll have some readings, and hopefully our readings should be within the specs.
Hello, it's Mark Rowley, Hayes Mom.
They've located the fault, ordered the part, but now there's going to be another delay.
Unfortunately, it's got to come from the stores in West Ealing. They've got some guys coming with it now, but due to the traffic, obviously it's going to take them a little while to get here, so they're not looking to get here till sort of after 1800s. And then they'll look to replace that filter and hopefully rectify the track circuit failure.
300 miles further along the western route at Scoria in Cornwall, there's also a difficult track problem to solve, but this one definitely won't be an easy fix. When the Great Western Route extension from Paddington to Penzance was built in the 1860s, the line went over Cornwall's tin mining area. And through the years, the route has faced major problems with subsidence. But now engineer Jack Pickering and his team are in the middle of a major round-the-clock project that they hope will solve the problem for good.
In the area in and around the railway, there's quite a few mine workings. There's a serious shaft. It's about 60 metres under the ground over here. In the 1960s, they realised that there was a bit of an issue with settlement either side of the railway, and what they did is they ended up glanding the railway, which means they've put additional rail along the end of the sleeper to stabilise it. And as times got worse, essentially, we've realised we've had to put a more serious intervention. And this means that for 120 years, it safeguards the railway against catastrophic failure.
Their plan is to pull up the old track, stabilise the land around it, before relaying the rails. A vital project lasting 4 days and costing £1.5 million.
Obviously, it's taxpayers' money, so we have to make sure that we're doing the right schemes at the right time. So for this, although we may have done some investigation work in 2007, obviously it's taken a bit of time to ensure that this was the right scheme to take forward and that it was really necessary to spend the money of the taxpayer conducting this, really.
The first stage has been to inject a stabilising material into the area.
We've had about 2 or 3 months of polymer injection into the ground. They do get a big lance and they stab into the ground, pump the material in, and when it goes off, it becomes like a hard concrete, so it makes it really firm. This will then stabilise all the areas that are of concern with the mine workings under the railway, essentially.
The next stage is to lay 3 51-ton concrete beams to support the new rails.
This methodology of securing a mine working is quite new and novel, so it's never been done on the network before. We spent a long time working with mining experts to work out what's going to be the best approach to be able to do this. And it's been quite a journey, really, from understanding the amount of mine workings that are down here and sort of the best way to kind of, make the railway safe.
But they're up against the clock. If they don't finish on time, it will have major repercussions.
There's a lot of stress associated with finishing the project because our works can impact not just the people in Cornwall, but delays to trains in Cornwall can impact trains going in and out of Paddington. And if we impact Paddington, then we can impact the rest of the infrastructure around London.
Back at Paddington's Platform 5, they're also up against the clock. Mick Lungo, who was earlier stressing rails to prepare them for rising temperatures, is now taking advantage of a much cooler Paddington station to mend a bump in the track detected during the evening rush hour.
Basically, where the two rail joints, because of the heat, they've closed together and the rail ends are actually battered now. The picture I was sent earlier, you couldn't see any gap at all, but where it's got cooler, it's actually opened up a little bit. So we won't have to trim it or shave it as much as what we thought we'd had to, but we'll see now once we get the plates on and see if it lifts the rail up any higher, see if it makes any difference.
But as they prepare to remove the fish plates that hold the sections of track together, the problem becomes clearer.
So this side is the £113, which is the new rail, and the other side, which is the older bit, is like £98 rail, which is ancient, basically. So that's where we're having trouble.
The £113 track was installed around 10 years ago, whilst the £98 rail was laid nearly 30 years ago. The slight difference in the rail's profiles means the fish plate won't fit them both properly.
The rail's been here for so long. Obviously, the guys are trying to get the clips out at the moment, and they can't because they're so seized. They probably haven't been taken out for about 20 years or so, probably. So it's a little bit difficult because everything's so old. And to match everything up, it's going to be a bit of a task, but we should get it all done.
With a bit of gentle persuasion, they managed to get the old fish plates off and the new ones on.
That looks good. That looks good, mate, that one. It looks a lot better than what it was. I think really the rail needs to be changed. This is like a temporary fix. So I think we would need to change the rail. I think where it's so old and worn, to get it to the exact level, I think we would have to change the rail at some stage. But I'm happy with leaving it the way it is.
The team's attention now turns to the circuit failure. Earlier, the signalling team replaced the relay filter in the hope that it would solve the problem.
Still 1.4 though, that's what you had before, isn't it?
But it's made no difference.
Basically, the track circuit's still down. We must take the pads out.
Take these
pads off, yeah? Right, get the scraper and just take them pads off just for a minute. You can see these insulators here, so old and worn. Need to put some new pads under there and see if it makes it any better. And we haven't got that much time left. We've probably got about an hour and 15 minutes now until the roads go back.
Now it's time to see if the new insulation pads have done their job.
Sorry.
Yeah, no different. At the moment, it's just like it's showing the same, so there's no different at all. So we've just done all that for nothing really, but we tried something. So tomorrow night we'll have to come in here, unclip most of the track, lift it every 10 metres and see if the voltage comes back up. But as it stands, that circuit's not there today.
With only minutes before the first service is due in at Paddington, this fix will have to be put off for another day. But there's no such luxury 300 miles away at Scoria. Engineers are 48 hours into a 4-day project to prevent a railway line from subsiding into old mining land.
So we're landing the first of 9 slabs, and hopefully they should fly in pretty quickly now, actually.
With the land stabilised, work can start on rebuilding the track infrastructure.
So it's going to start backfilling, putting the material back on top of the beams and slabs, and then start the operation of putting the rails back in and getting prepared for trains to run. Obviously, you don't want to speak too soon, touch wood, but it's looking pretty good at the moment.
With the deadline getting ever closer, they have to work through the heat of the day and the cool of the night to get the project done. And it's one hell of a job.
In the last 36 hours following the last slab being installed, the team have installed 600 tonnes of ballast, and they've re-railed both the up and down lines with 180 metres of rail on both lines.
Specialist machines pack down the ballast that supports the new tracks.
So we can see the track just out here now. It's been placed at a design level, and as the tamper comes through, it will lift the sleeper and rails to a design, and then you'll finish with a nice smooth line and level, and that's what the tamper will do for the rail. Hopefully, it's going to be about 3 hours left of tamping, and then that's the tamping finished, and following that we need to stress and weld both roads, so hopefully by 0400 Friday morning we'll be ready to pass the first train. 4 days of quite intense work, a number of years of planning, quite a unique and novel capping project, so it's all gone well for us.
It's been a long, hot week at Paddington Station.
So we've gone from Arctic temperatures to Dante's Inferno.
But now it's the weekend, and as the heatwave continues, there's a change of pace.
There we go, platform 9, just around the corner.
And a change of passengers.
It's Saturday, it's a nice day, it's a sunny day. I love our commuters, but I absolutely adore the weekend travellers. Have a great day, guys. Thank you. We've got lots and lots of happy tourists. Are you off to Bath? Yeah. Do you have your flip-flops and your towel? Oh. In the bath? With the weekend travellers, everybody's happy, everybody's just dressed leisurely. Everyone just wants to have a good time.
We gotta get in with Paddington. Oh. All right, get in.
Surrounded by beauty. I'm not complaining. They've all taken a chill pill. So at the moment, I'm on my leisurely mode. I'm just on my leisuremode.com. But things can soon change.
And on this sunny weekend, it's staff shortages that are beginning to cause a problem.
The drivers don't want to work their rest days. And it's summertime, so there is an acute shortage of drivers, which is causing problems. Few cancellations for trains.
1 Charlie 1-2, 1 Charlie 1-3, and 1 Charlie 1-4 are all cancelled. So obviously we've got no trains for passengers going to Bristol or Bath. So we're gonna use 1 Bravo 28 to do that. So we've got 3 trains to Bristol cancelled, sadly, due to no drivers. Unavailability of drivers, a shortage of drivers. So we're trying to divert a train, or we are going to divert a train via B&H. It will be the 11:45 train to Swansea, which normally doesn't go via this route, but we are going to arrange for it today to go via a different route, just so we can pick up any passengers going towards Bath, Chippenham or Didcot.
Hello, sir. It is, sir. It is, sir.
It will mean that the 11:45 to Swansea will, as well as its normal passengers, also have to carry passengers for Bristol.
Okay, so the 11:45 to Swansea is now being diverted, so fun's about to happen. And obviously, we now need to inform our happy customers that they can board the rather overcrowded 11:45 to Swansea, which is being diverted for them.
Unfortunately, we'll make announcements for any passengers for Bristol on the station to get on that 11:45, but then you'll have to go at 11:45, and any other passengers will have to wait for the next available service.
When the next one after this one is to pass by?
So there are some cancellations today,
Yeah.
so I would advise you to take this train.
Oh, really?
Because the 12 o'clock's cancelled as well,
Yeah, I
and the
noticed that.
12:30.
Okay.
So I really would advise you to take this train, sir, okay?
And for those who miss that train, there will be a slightly more roundabout way of getting to Bristol.
Unfortunately, we're not able to put on specific stops. What they can do, however, is change at Bristol Parkway, where there will be downward connections from Bristol Parkway on the cross-country service from Bristol Parkway down into Bristol.
And so far, so good. It seems to be going very smooth. Obviously, for those that are on that cancelled 12 o'clock, I do hope that most of them have been able to catch this train. And if they don't, hey-ho, then we can put them on the next one. So it's not the end of the world. It's just a matter of compromising. Someone's obviously done their homework up there, or down there in Swindon. They're thinking of the best possibility. So it's looking good.
Just as one issue due to the lack of drivers is dealt with,
Hello, Pad Signal. This is Sanjeev, Control Room, Paddington.
What's that?
another emerges.
Hi, mate. Just to let you know, 1 Bravo 25 on number 4, they won't be billing out on time. The crews and the PMB, so they'll be late going out, mate.
So we've got issue where the driver's coming late on the train, 20 minutes late, which means he's going to go out 20 minutes late. So we got 1 Bravo 25, which is going to go 20 minutes late. Just trying to advise Swindon, he's due his break. So once his break's done, all the passengers will have to wait, I guess, fortunately.
While some services are suffering because of missing drivers, the heatwave has been causing a different set of problems for those that are working.
With the hot weather we've been having, obviously there's a lot of flies and bugs and all that sort of rubbish out. So normally the spray and the wash of the normal wipe is enough to keep it clear, but the driver wasn't very happy. They need to be able to see where they're going properly, see the signals and everything, so just give it a bit of a clean and a wipe for him. The drivers have a repair book, which all the details go in of any faults. Obviously he's booked in that the windscreen was minging. So we can sign it off now and say it's been cleaned. Yeah, if they can't see, they can't run, it's simple as that really. It's, the way, because there's such a flat front as well, they just collect a lot of stuff when they're going along. If the wipers can't keep up with it, then they're out of luck really. So sometimes you just have to get in there by hand and give it a wipe.
As one train heads off fly free, on platform 4, the train that has been waiting for the driver to finish his break is also now ready.
And this one's just about to go, hopefully.
And although it's 25 minutes late, it's now on its way.
As I say, a few issues with drivers not being available. So apart from that, it's wonderful.
Yeah, but there's 3 trains cancelled this morning from the West Country. It's not good, is it?
Customer Ambassador Kaz Debray is dealing with the last of the passengers for the diverted Swansea train.
Yes, madam.
So, we were actually going to Bristol Temple Meads, but the train is cancelled.
Yes.
So is this the quickest way to get...
Yes, it is, madam.
What time does it get into Bristol?
It's due in at 13:11, madam.
Thank you very much.
You have a lovely day. They just want the reassurance. They just want to know, as the customer says, does it go to Bristol Parkway? Does it go to Bristol Parkway? Okay, so again, it's just a matter of sharing that information. Again, share what you know, because that's vital for our customers. So I'm telling them, I'm with them next to me, this is all I know, but let's have a look together, as I did. And she could see Bristol Parkway, and all of a sudden it was, what time does it arrive? 13:11, and that's it. That's just to share what you know.
And with one last push, a searingly hot and busy week at Paddington comes to a close.
A proud moment, seeing this train dispatched on time, going out on time, and now it's time to say bye. Thumbs up, beautiful, love that, absolutely love that.